the quietest war. The morning had begun like any other in the small southern town of Havencrest, Georgia. The sun peeked over the horizon with a warm golden hue, casting long shadows across the town square and painting the sleepy streets in nostalgia. It was the kind of place where American flags hung year-round, where neighbors waved whether they meant it or not, and where history wasn't just preserved, it was protected, even when it hurt. At the entrance of Havencrest Middle School, the quiet buzz of students arriving filled the air. 13-year-old Nyla Hart strode toward the metal detectors, her backpack slung casually over one shoulder. Her hair was twisted into thick braids and crowned with pride. She walked like someone who knew her worth, had held high, eyes sharp. But that confidence, in the wrong place, on the wrong morning, was all it took. "Step to the side," barked Officer Trent Malloy, a school resource officer stationed at the gate. Nyla paused mid-stride, confusion creasing her brow. "Why?" Officer Malloy's face twisted, whether in annoyance or something older, colder, no one could say. "Don't question me. Do what I said." "I just want to know what I did wrong," Nyla replied, her voice even. That's when it happened. With no warning, no reason, and in full view of students, staff, and security cameras, Officer Malloy raised his hand and slapped her. Hard. Not a push. A slap. The kind that snaps heads and breaks hearts. The kind that tells a black child their voice is a threat. Gasps erupted from nearby students. Phones went up. A few faculty members stood frozen in shock. Across the parking lot, a man stepped out of a silver Dodge Durango. Marcus Hart had seen it all. From the moment his daughter stepped out of the car, to the second she crumpled onto the pavement, one hand covering her cheek. He didn't run. He didn't shout. He walked. Slow. Steady. Controlled. The kind of walk that sent a ripple through the air like the pressure drop before a tornado touches ground. Marcus Hart wasn't just a father. He wasn't just a veteran. He was a former operative in a now classified unit tasked with high-level intelligence recovery and black site corruption dismantling. And what Officer Malloy didn't know was that he hadn't slapped just any child. He had slapped the daughter of a man trained to dismantle institutions with precision. Malloy turned just in time to see Marcus kneel beside Nyla and gently help her up. Marcus didn't speak to the officer. He didn't lay a finger on him. He simply looked into his daughter's eyes and said something that would echo long after. "You have no idea who you just touched." He took her hand, turned around, and walked away. The silence he left behind felt louder than any siren. Over the following days, the footage went viral. Cell phone clips, hallway surveillance, first-hand testimonies, it was irrefutable. But the school district, like many before it, issued a vague statement promising a thorough review and placed Officer Malloy on paid administrative leave. Marcus Hart said nothing to the media. He didn't make public threats. He simply opened a storage unit outside of town and pulled out a black waterproof case marked Echo V. Inside were files, names, contacts, secrets. He wasn't seeking revenge. He was planning exposure. And while others tried to make the story disappear, Marcus was quietly stitching together a case not just against Officer Malloy, but against a system that had sheltered him for years. What no one knew was that 10 years prior, a young black boy named Devin Carlisle had filed a complaint against Officer Malloy, then a patrolman in the next county over. That complaint had vanished. Until now. Marcus found it. And he found Devin too. Now 23, Devin lived quietly in nearby Ashford, working nights at a distribution center and trying to forget what had happened to him at 13. Marcus knocked on his door with the file in hand. "You still think they forgot you?" Marcus asked. Devin stared at the paperwork in disbelief, then shook his head. "No," he whispered. "They just made sure no one else would remember." Back in Havencrest, Nyla returned to school 2 days later, chin up, cheek still healing. She didn't speak of the slap. She didn't need to. She wrote instead. A spoken word piece for the upcoming Black History Month assembly that her literature teacher encouraged her to perform. When she did, standing alone on stage in front of peers and parents, her words struck deeper than any punishment ever could. "I asked a question and got silence. I stood tall and was told to shrink. But I won't. I won't disappear. My skin is not defiance. My voice is not violence. My presence is not a threat. It's a mirror." The auditorium erupted. Parents wept. Students rose. But the school board remained silent. Until Marcus made his move. He approached Assistant District Attorney Claire Douglas, a seasoned prosecutor with a reputation for burning corruption to the ground. He placed the Devin Carlisle file on her desk, along with 3 more, each naming Malloy. Each ignored. Each erased. Within 72 hours, a full investigation was launched. Claire convened a closed-door hearing with the school board and internal affairs. Marcus and Nyla attended. Devin was there, too. The board squirmed. They blamed miscommunication, oversight, and incomplete records. Marcus didn't raise his voice. He simply asked, "How many more?" And that's when the cracks opened. Teachers came forward. Former staffers emailed files. A whistleblower handed Claire a USB drive containing internal communications, evidence that Malloy had been protected because of his connections, his willingness to keep rowdy students in line. But this time, no silence would protect them. The state intervened. Subpoenas were issued. Board members resigned. Others lawyered up. And Officer Trent Malloy? He was arrested, charged with assault, obstruction of justice, falsifying reports, and violation of civil rights. But Marcus wasn't done. He met with legislators. He proposed a statewide initiative for transparency in school disciplinary records. With the help of civil rights attorney Simone Dawson, they drafted the Havencrest Student Accountability and Protection Act. It passed, and Havencrest, once a town defined by tradition and hush, became the epicenter of reform. Nyla won the Courage in Youth Award that year. At the ceremony, she said, "They tried to make me small, but my father showed me that silence is a choice, and so is power. I chose to speak." She would later attend Georgetown on a full scholarship, studying education policy. Devin became a youth advocate, traveling to schools and communities sharing his story and teaching kids how to protect their own. Simone was appointed to the governor's Education Equity Task Force. And Marcus? He declined interviews. Always quiet, always steady. But he founded the Heart Collective, a nonprofit that monitors school misconduct and provides resources for parents navigating education systems stacked against them. He said only this at the launch event. Justice isn't loud. It's consistent. And it never forgets. What started as a slap became a reckoning. Not just for one town. For the country. Because in the silence after pain, when truth is spoken clearly, not even the strongest institutions can remain standing. And when a father chooses to fight, not with fists, but with facts, entire systems shift. This was that story. And it's still being written.